the hell?
What the hell?
This episode, we're going to talk about enhancement for your brain pills. We have Alpha Brain, but the main reason why I wanted to talk to this because I got watching Limitless, the TV show again.
I like the movie more than the TV show.
The movie was a little bit better, but if you actually read the book, it's totally flip-flop of what the whole scenario is. Because the book itself, which the movie is based off of, is about greed. Because eventually it gets to the point where all he wants to do is make money, and that's the cautionary tale for it. But the movie just goes off of that. The main character wanted to make a world a better place and everything because he has this intelligence and everything. But another movie that's like that is called Lucy.
Yeah, that's that one with the whatever that chemical is the body releases to help develop the baby's brain.
Yeah,
which is natural chemical, but it
But I was talking to somebody and they were like, "Oh no, that's a new concept." I was like, "No, because I've read Flowers for Algernon, and that actually he went through surgery and everything. It was a book and it was a movie, and the movie went somewhat with it like most movies do." But it was basically taking a mentally handicapped person and elevating his brain to a higher level. I mean, they also did it in like Lawnmower Man too.
I was about to say that Lawnmower Man did that too, even though it went a totally weird ass direction.
Oh yeah, that was more.
Really
even the short story was even like that.
Yeah,
which
was Stephen King for you though. So.
Yeah, it would have been horror and everything like that, but.
But the concept of making a better human being has been there forever.
Yeah.
I mean,
well,
Hitler, with the Uber race, they were literally trying to, not only did they try to breed the perfect race, but they were also trying to rebreed creatures that have gone extinct that were in German folklore, like, these bison type creatures they used to hunt. They try to.
I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, it goes into, breeding, how, like dogs, how there's different breeds of dogs. Well, they all came from wolves.
Yeah, but dire wolves were we used to have.
Yeah.
And it eventually came down to the wolves that we have today that they're smaller and everything.
Yeah.
I think the only creature, is it two creatures? It was the shark and the alligator that's never evolved.
I think it was the shark for sure.
I know the shark for sure.
Yeah. If anyway, they've kind of devolved, or at least the sizes they get to. And I think that's mainly because the prey you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
because the longer they live, the bigger they get anyway.
Yeah.
And if you give them a larger food source, I imagine you would have megalodons again.
Yeah. But, well, that also stems from the whole thing of the Elon Musk little implant that he's coming out with, where, in my opinion, all it's going to be is you're going to be able to use your technology a little bit more. It's going to be brain activated, which I don't know if it's going to work or not. A lot of people are like,
that would be interesting to have a chip that you're literally like, someone says a word you don't know, and you just mentally think, what does that word mean? And then all of a sudden you have this subconscious thought of what the word means, the definition.
That would be interesting. That would be universal translator.
Yeah, and to a degree, I mean, it would literally like, kind of like in the Matrix,
Until autocorrect picks it up.
Yeah. Or the voice recognition. Do you mean no? But like even in the Matrix, where he doesn't know how to fly a helicopter, and all of a sudden they download how to fly a helicopter into your mind.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it ever get that powerful, but even on the smallest level, like I said, be like, okay, what does that word mean? And you get a definition in your head, or how do I do this? And it gives you a very, just a thought. Okay, this is how it be. That'd be interesting. I would get that chip.
Well, if you look at the Matrix and everything, they have that little stabby thing that goes into you.
Well, yeah.
I don't know if I want to get. Well, they were born with it.
Yeah.
So.
They were.
Well, not really born with it.
Yeah, they were. It was engineered into their body and everything. But I'm just talking about the simple fact is, like when they're in the Matrix and, they sit there and literally download whatever information they need, at the moment. And if it could get to that advanced, that would be pretty neat.
That would be interesting and everything, but
would that do away with schools?
Yes. But that was another thing that, like, right now, a lot of people are getting upset about. And supposedly intellectual people, they're getting upset that they're not as popular as they once were. And it's the entrepreneur. Okay. A lot of people aren't looking towards the intellectuals anymore. They're looking to the entrepreneurs a little bit more because, it's flashy. They get more money and everything like that. Well, these intellectuals are getting upset and they're running universities and everything, doing teacher jobs and everything. And if you actually, I keep on saying this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And basically what it states when he was talking to his father, his father was a professor at a university in Hawaii. And the father knew, it's like, hey, if you want to be rich, you don't go to college. Because when you go to college, you're at that time, you can go to college, but you have to pick and choose what you're going to get and everything if you get a business degree, you're getting a business degree, but you're gearing yourself up to be an employee, not a boss. And that's what a lot of people's definition, and it actually works out, and it's just like mind-blowing of how once you think that way, you're like, oh yeah. Because I went and I got a certificate for industrial maintenance. I know I would have to reintegrate myself to do it and everything like that. But I love knowing how to work on robotics and everything like that. Like my brother-in-law, he has $100,000 a year paying job. And I've told him, I was like, listen, you're underpaid. He's like, what do you mean? I was like, I make $100,000 a year. I'm doing better than you. I was like, no, you're really underpaid. You have no idea how underpaid. If you actually market yourself, since you already have the people and everything, they already trust you, and they rather go to you to fix things, you can staple off and be your own business and make 10 times that amount by the time 5 years crash by. Maybe about 6 to 7 or 8 max. But by that time, it was like, but the problem with that is I'm not calling him lazy, but he'd rather have somebody take over the stuff. But eventually you would have somebody take over the stuff and everything like that. It would just be too much compound stress. I mean, even Evan Hafer, the owner of Black Rifle Coffee, for the first year, he said he only got like 4 hours sleep. But he built his business, and eventually, when you're building a business and everything like that, it takes away to the point where you have to figure out, okay, I really want to control this company, but I can't do everything. I have to give this to this guy. I have to give this to this guy.
Yeah.
And a lot of people starting out a business don't understand that concept. They want to do everything. But what if you're able to have that knowledge and everything, and you just basically, okay, I'm going to go to work, tap in, or take a pill. Okay, this is how the day's going. I can do all this stuff and everything like that. And you just have your, well, nowadays it's easy to have a computer system to actually do that. You can build a PC or PCs to where you can do that and do a lot of multitask. And you're basically making a lot of money for yourself. Like the Craigslist. It's a multi-billion dollar industry. You know how many people they have working for them? 50.
Really?
They don't go any higher.
What's that? I mean,
the guy that owned it wanted everything simple. I mean, really stupid simple and everything like that. So that's why he did all that. And he set it up to where his company is multi-billion. I wonder how much one of those employees are getting paid.
Yeah.
If it's because it's basically a website.
Mm-hmm.
So there's nothing really. The only thing they're getting money from is basically it's basically like
writing code for the web address and all that stuff.
No, not even that.
What is that called? Where you
classify ads.
Yeah,
that's basically all it is.
Mm-hmm.
They literally it did away with classified ads, and that's what it is right now. And it's one website everybody can go to, and it's like $10 to do a pop up for what you want to do and everything.
Yeah.
So, but it's possible to have that like smallness and still rank up a lot of money and everything.
Yeah.
But could you imagine just doing it yourself and all you have to do is pop a pill or something like that, or or you're integrated to the point to where you're basically okay, plug and play, doing all this stuff, and my imagination wants to go into the fact that once you set everything up, and a lot of people are probably going to hate this. Well, I don't know anymore if a lot of people are going to hate it, but the whole robotic society, because back in the 80s, that was the biggest thing to where people were getting upset. It wasn't immigration, it was the robots are taking our jobs.
Yeah.
Which it was really making a lot easier. And if you're low, there was a big thing a lot of people don't like is like during the housing crisis, the whole just learn to code. That's actually bullying, because a lot of people were like, oh, I don't know how to do anything else other than roofing or anything to do with the housing stuff. And a person was like, well, learn how to code and maybe you can get some money.
Yeah.
Which is really sad, because nowadays the people that roof and do just basic yard work or plumbing and stuff like that, they are high demand to where they're paying a crap load of money, and all you have to do is go to like a community college or just start an apprenticeship with those jobs.
Yeah.
And I even told I told my daughter, she's like, I want to be an artist. Well, what are you going to do for funding to support your artist, because you're not going to get paid really a lot. Yeah. She's like, well, I'm going to just get a job or something like that. I was like, okay, I'll tell you a good job to where you won't have to work that much, but you get a lot of money in return doing it. It's like, what's that? I told her, I was like, just be a plumber. It doesn't take that much. And the tools for it isn't that much, unless you get in the high skill and doing residential and everything.
Yeah. Well, talking about college educations and everything else, there was this guy that, my uncle, this is shit back in the 90s, but my uncle, when he ran that bar, I was up there one time, and there was this black gentleman in there that used to do the work for the MSU, doing the landscaping and everything else. Well, they literally they passed a thing where you had to have a basic level college degree to be able to work for their basic functions, And of course, he never graduated high school, so he lost his job there. And
that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is ridiculous. But here's the thing. He said it was the greatest thing that ever happened to him, because he started his own lawn business, and now he makes over $200K a year. Yeah. And that's just here in Wichita Falls, Yeah. He said it was the greatest thing that ever happened to me. This is back in the 90s. He was making $200K a year.
That's a really good story.
I mean, it was a good positive from it all, but yeah, it was sad that they fired him. Or maybe it was a high school diploma you had to have. Maybe it wasn't a college level.
Well,
but I don't remember what the exact.
Well, that goes also on the regulations and everything about. Did you know, like in Louisiana, it's easy to get a law license than it is to get a Florida license.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's because they're a third world country. So.
Louisiana?
Yeah.
Are they?
I'm from Louisiana. Come on, man. That's so backwoods. It's pathetic.
Well, as long as you. I've never been to Louisiana, so.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful place. It really is. It is a very beautiful country.
Louisiana is one of those country.
But,
Texas is the only country that's in a country.
It's a country that's a country that owns the country.
Yeah, I know. Right?
Yeah, Texas.
I
might not be a Texan, but I got here as soon as I fucking could.
I know, right? A lot of people tell me that. But no, the whole fact of like regulate. I don't know who.
I'm super parched today, by the way.
Oh, I was parched yesterday. The regulations. Yeah. The regulations on how to do stuff and everything. Like even in town, it's ridiculous of how they want to regulate like putting up a fence.
Mm-hmm. Well, it gets even worse when you go out to the base and do base work for that.
Yeah. Because you got federal regulations.
Few of our friends, Thomas, Shades, and Boss, they worked for that construction company, and then they like helped build the high school over in City View, But it got real ridiculous when it came to the federal regulations when they were just doing the houses and stuff when they built that new housing part in there. The exactness of the windows and the wall and everything, it was just crazy. The amount of detail, but yet it's like super cheap material. It's crazy.
Yeah. But okay, getting back onto the subject of what it would be existential chemicals or something like that. Because they have something that can clear up your head a little bit.
Yeah.
Called Alpha Brain, and a lot Joe Rogan swears by it and everything. Says he takes Alpha Brain and he clears up his head, and
where you can actually omega-3s in your system too by eating tuna and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's good for mental health, but it's not going to do anything like Limitless ever.
Yeah. Which a lot of people want. I after that movie came out, I started seeing like advertisements for like, oh, you can get this pill, blah blah blah, and they started. Basically, it was a sugar pill.
Yeah.
I was curious, so I bought like the smallest amount you could possibly buy. I was like, okay, let's see what this thing is, and I took it to a friend of mine and that could analyze it and everything. He's like, you do realize this is just a sugar pill, right? It's like, I knew it. It's like, it's just a placebo.
Yeah, most of those are. A lot of things.
And you're saying something about the was it stem cells for Lucy? Like
no, that was it's different than stem cell research. It's some kind of that's based off. There's a chemical that's released in the body before the kid's born. And it helps basically stimulate the fetus's brain. And well, there is like to put it in terms, say an ounce of that chemical is created in the human body, and it does very minute, nothing make you super being. One of those pills is like, a gallon of it, and then she ends up taking, that entire thing, which that whole, she has 100% usage of her brain. Well, that's such a myth that you only use 10% of your brain. You use 100% of your brain. Yeah. It's just not all synapses are firing all at once. Yeah. So that's such a misconception.
Yeah, I was trying to talk to Michael about that. It's ridiculous because he thinks he knows everything. But your body, if you actually had 100%, this is my theory, and if a scientist actually listens to the show, which I seriously doubt it, can verify this, is my thinking is this: every portion of your brain has a job, and you have a small amount for like cognitive learning. And if you go past that, I mean, if you look at like geniuses that have really high IQs, they have the understanding of like really big stuff, but their common sense is really low to where they can't really get the concept of, hey, I need to eat to stay alive.
Yeah. It's all about forming new neural pathways too. Have you ever seen that that one study where it's not really to increase your IQ, but to increase your mental health, doing just things differently? Like, say for instance, you brush your teeth with your right hand, brush your teeth with your left hand instead. That'll create new pathways.
Well, the same thing.
When you wake up in the morning, have something different in a container next to your bed, and open it up and smell it. Especially if it's like if you have someone else set it up for you, it'll create new pathways. You know,
Yeah.
It's
Well, the whole thing is the reason why I like to constantly learn new things and everything. The other thing is a concept that when shooting and everything like that, I'll shoot with my right eye and everything like that. But every once in a while, I'll switch over to my left, and it does the same thing.
Yeah.
And I'm using my left hand. I'm aiming a little bit differently. It's just basically once a person gets to the point where they're lazy and they don't want to learn anything. And yes, it is laziness.
Yeah. There's different forms of laziness. There's mental laziness. There's physical laziness.
Yeah, people that don't want to learn anything new or everything.
Social laziness.
But you can see how they degrade.
Yeah.
A lot because they don't want to learn anything new.
Yeah.
But if you keep on learning that. Because my whole family has that subjugated to brain deterioration. I'm always trying to learn something new, create new pathways and everything, and hopefully, it doesn't get as bad as my granny or any of my relatives and everything. I love learning new things. From when I was a kid, I hated learning. Now, when I want to learn new things and everything, yes, I'll go.
I like learning
I'll
things
get
as a kid.
Fed up, but I'll come back to it.
If it was something interesting to me, I liked learning when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But things outside my realm of interest, no. Now I look up things that I'm not really that interested in. You know, I'll actually.
But nowadays it's a lot easier than when we were.
Oh yeah, I mean
it's like
fingertips,
like night and day.
Yeah.
Because I had an Encyclopedia Britannica set, and I would constantly go through a book, and I'm just like, let's go through this one and start flipping through it and learning stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there's a wealth of knowledge there, but once, like, say you read the subject on,
the internet.
The bluebirds. Once you read, the subject of bluebirds in your, Encyclopedia Britannica, what, you know what I'm saying? Once you've read the subject on something, you can't go reread it and there'd be new information. It's like that. What was that huge debate we got in with Michael? And there was, when the mind stops developing.
Yeah. That's what I was talking about.
And he's sitting here adamant that it was in your teens or whatever.
It was supposed to be like when you were 16.
Yeah. And then we were like, no, your mind's still developing on up into your 20s. And
I think it's like 26, 25.
Yeah. And I would like to say it probably goes a little longer, but yeah.
Well, as long as you keep on learning new stuff and everything, it'll still do that.
Continue to develop,
until you don't
unless you have Alzheimer's or something kind of mentally degrading, and that's another good thing about that, how they're talking about, creating new pathways with brushing your teeth is another, that actually helps Alzheimer's patients and stuff too.
Oh, okay.
It's like doing cardio for your brain. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It helps with your endurance, your mental endurance.
Yeah. Because I was like, it's once I like watch a comedy special and everything like that, I become more wittier because I get a little bit, of knowledge. It was
I think you become more wittier.
I'm
a special guy. Leave me alone.
I know things. You don't.
Okay, here's my New Year's resolution.
Not to try to kill me.
Oh, that's always on my first agenda. My New Year's resolution is to nope, hang up. But anyway, talking about if you don't use it, you lose it type
Yeah,
thing.
it very.
Like, I used to be a social butterfly, if you remember that. I mean,
Yeah.
I could walk into a room of people I don't know, and I would be like, I could start and chat up with anybody and not be awkward whatsoever. But now, here in my older age, I've gotten to a point where I don't socialize that much, and you know,
Well, that's because you don't.
I got
go
real
out. You
awkward.
don't want to.
Yeah.
You don't want to go out.
I've gotten awkward, you know, and you know,
And I'm told, and I used to be that way, and now I'm like, hey, how's it going? You doing all right?
yeah,
I'll go sit next to. I was like, hey, can I sit here with you and just have a conversation? I'll do that
that's
all the
the
time.
difference. You know, we 360 to that aspect, but you've also made it more of a point to become more sociable. You know, you used to be socially awkward because you really honestly, nobody had the same interest as me.
Yeah. And then I just figured out, it's like, you know what? I like to hear stories.
Because you're the Dave.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that.
Go ahead and tell it.
Nah, I'm not going to go into that scenario because I don't even want to bring it up because if that She-Hulk sees this, then I don't want her to
I
think
seriously
I'm
doubt that She-Hulk.
I will, but I don't want her to think that I'm thinking about her because I'm not. Anyway, so let's continue this.
But no, a lot of things that it interests me to the point to where we've always had these stories of how to develop the brain and everything like that. Yeah. But a lot of people don't use it. Mm-hmm. And, well, I can't say the knowledge isn't out there because the knowledge is out there. But a lot of, that was another thing that I don't like is a lot of people want to take the easy path.
Yeah.
I mean, like, well, it's basically anything to where if you want to be, really buff and everything like that, a lot of people do this, do steroids. But
and that's what Limitless Pill basically is.
Yeah, it's a steroid for your brain.
Yeah.
And a lot of people want to do the easy path. But if you take the longer road, you literally get more benefits with no cons to it.
Yeah.
And it's phenomenal. It's like I was trying to tell a person that was a bodybuilder. He was like, man, I'm really, really strong. I can bench press this and everything like that. And I was like, you're not strong, dude. He's like, no, I'm strong. I was like, no. And this is the time frame where I did like a lot of gymnastics. I did a lot of stuff that I basically used my own body weight to lift up and everything. He pulled up and he's like, I got 300 pounds. I did the whole 300 pounds deadlift with him. I was like, poop, poop. But the only problem with it is after like 5 or 6, he had to stop. He was winded. He was out. And I was still going strong. Mm-hmm. And it got to the point to where he's like, well, how'd you do it? I was like, I used my own body weight to work out first. Because I had that cognitive to where I want the strength, but I want the endurance too. And that's how you get that. A person actually bodybuilds. Most of the time, they don't have the endurance to keep that up.
Well, another thing is if, like you look at people that used to take steroids and then they don't anymore, they get all that muscle becomes fat. Mm-hmm. And then basically people that are bodybuilder when they were younger, and then as they get older and they're of course not bodybuilding or taking the supplements they used to take, whether it be not steroids but like say
or just
creatine
or
creatine. Have you ever heard of creatine? It's that stuff that you take when you work out.
Yeah.
And what it does is allows your body to contain water, which makes your muscles more lubricated, man, allows you to work out better, blah, blah, blah. But if you look at someone that used to take that and they start working out, they're fucking nothing but flat. Yeah. Then you take old Farm Joe over here.
Oh, God. Those are the people that I'm really scared of.
Yeah. That are, they're buff, but they're not, like ripped.
They have a lot of fat on, but their body...
That muscle will never go away. Yeah. I mean, I've seen
that,
old men sit there, You know, in the nursing home that I used to work at when I was 18, you know, freaking, you know, fucking six pack. You know.
What's really strange though is what a lot of people don't understand is the people that actually do have that fat on them and everything.
Mm-hmm.
They got a little pudge. I got a little pudge. I can flex really hard and I can have the six pack again, but it's a little bit. It's like a donut six pack.
I got a six pack. It's just, you know, it's in a cooler.
But that extra fat and everything is because the body it's a lubricant for your muscles.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that I got rid of my extra weight because I was like 180, pushing about 200, and as soon as I stopped sugar and everything like that, I dropped like 25 pounds right there. And a lot of people like someone was telling me, it's like, I want to lose weight. Do you eat a lot of sugar stuff? I was like, yeah, I eat candies, I drink sodas and everything. I was like, cut all this stuff, switch to water, bam, 25 pounds, guaranteed, right there. And that's like a month.
Well, for men, if men could cut out sodas, they
women it's totally different, only because their body weight is specific to where for like childbirth and everything.
Well, yeah, their genetics are literally designed to, their bodies are designed to maintain body fat, which you know, to me is fine.
Little cushion for the pushing.
I love pushing along. Now I don't want her to be a fluffy futon or nothing like that, but you know.
Oh, you don't want like the 400-pound to 600-pound woman? By six, I still.
See, I like my women. I like my women on the thinner side, but I like my men thick. That's why I love box.
But yeah. I guess we can cut it out on that. This is I still like the
yeah, my throat's here killing me anyway.
Yeah.
So
allergies is killing me. My throat's killing me too. But the interesting concept of taking the easy path with chemicals and everything like that.
One last note on that though, going back to like the chip in your mind and stuff like that, which to me is a lot more interesting than the pill aspect. You know, take this wonder drug that makes you smart. You have this chip in your head that allows you, like I said, you think of the word, what does that mean? And it tells you, you know, just subconscious thought or whatever. What about like life knowledge? You know what I mean? Like, you got a guy that's been a machinist for 60 years, you know, and download that life knowledge that he has.
Yeah, because he could have had situations that you would never even think of.
Or, you know, remedies for something that's just not normal, you know.
Yeah.
And
that's an interesting.
that would be pretty neat. Of course,
that
that would also go into the hive mind thing too.
Yeah, that's one thing I'm kind of afraid of.
Yeah.
Is the hive mind.
Another thing,
because you
can understand each other more too. Is like you take all the a combined life experience of, you know, like a black individual
with that
or a white individual.
That would be another concept. Would that be an inch closer to curing war?
Yeah. People would understand each other more.
Yeah, but you'd also have these third world countries that can't afford stuff like that. So
yeah.
But anyways, look us up on Facebook, like and subscribe this if you like it, and
beat the hell out of that freaking like button.
Yeah,
it's like your life depends on it, because it does.
There might be a bunny that might live because of it. All right, I'm David Dickerin.
I'm Kai King.
And love you guys. This is What the Hell. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.